Good morning, Paulina. I decided to put this in a video to try to answer your questions. All right, when we're solving absolute values, your job always is to get this absolute value by itself. You never want to mess with what's inside the absolute value. All right, it's always going to stay x minus 5. What we always want to do is get rid of this number here first. All right, the number that's being added or subtracted, in this case negative 2 is being subtracted, is the first number we get rid of. Just like solving an equation. 2 plus 3x equals 11. First thing you're going to do is subtract 2. And then we're going to divide by 3 to get the x alone. We want to do the same thing here. Now, what makes this easy but looks a little tricky is when you add, you get 0. So we get minus 6 times the absolute value of x minus 5 equals 0. Again, we want to isolate our absolute value, so I got to get rid of that 6. And to do that, I divide both sides by negative 6. Negative 6. And then we have absolute value of x minus 5. And 0 divided by anything, if 0 is on top, is 0. Now that we've isolated the absolute value, this absolute value is all by itself, then we write our two equations. X minus 5 equals 0, and x minus 5 equals the opposite of this number, or the opposite of 0. Well, this is no point to this because the opposite of 0 is just 0, so we ignore this, add 5 to both sides, and we get x equals 5. And we're done. We isolated the absolute value, then we wrote two equations. And when we wrote the two equations, we took what was inside the x minus 5, I crossed it out there, but I took what's inside and I wrote down both equations. All right, as long as I'm at it, I'll go through the one that you asked me about yesterday also. I answered, but I don't know if it made total sense, so we'll just go through it. First thing we do is we get rid of this 8. It's being added to that mess. Just like here, we got rid of the negative 2 that was being subtracted. So we do minus 8, and we get 2 times the absolute value of 2x plus 1 over 3 equals 6. And again, just like last time, absolute value is left by itself. Now, you want to get rid of the 3 and the 2. We get rid of the 3 by multiplying. Those cancel. So you have 2 times the absolute value of 2x plus 1 equals 18. Again, I keep repeating this, the absolute value stays by itself. Now we want to get rid of this 2 by dividing. And I have the absolute value of 2x plus 1 equals 9. And again, this absolute value, what's inside there, remains unchanged. Now I did this in 2 steps. I multiplied by 3, and then I divided by 2. I could have just multiplied by 3 halves. I could have said 3 halves times 2 times my absolute value over 3 equals 6 times 3 halves. The 3's cancel, 2's cancel. My absolute value would have been 18 over 2, or 9. 2 goes into 6, 3. 3 times 3 is 9. So you could have done it in one step. All right, now we take what's inside the 2x plus 1. We write it down 2 times, and we equal to this number and the opposite of that number. And that's it. Then we solve. All right, I hope this helps you. Good luck on the rest of your studying today, and have a great day.